This week we're going to be talking about sled dogging. We're going to read various books about Alaska and about the Iditarod. We're going to have a musher that we're going to pick, and y'all are going to follow him each day online to see as he goes down the trail. And we're going to record in our journals of which checkpoint he's at, and we're also going to be recording what the weather is in Alaska that day. We're also going to, at the end of the week, we're going to have a race, Iditarod race ourselves. And we're going to race around the room and see who can get the most points. But right now, what I want us to do is I want us to talk about our background knowledge of Alaska. In your folder, I have provided you with a KWL chart. And as we're talking about Alaska and the Iditarod, let's write down some things of what I know and what I want to know. Okay, so what do we know about Alaska?
It's cold.
It's very cold. Yes, very cold. So let's write that down. And what we know, it's very cold. What else do we know about Alaska?
It snows a lot.
It snows a lot. Yes, it snows a lot.
The roads on the Alaska. I forgot what you said.
Yeah. Well, let's look at Alaska. Where is Alaska?
On the top of the United States.
Yeah, up at the top of the map. It's up on the top. Here's our map, and we have Alaska. And here's our trail of the Iditarod. Okay, does anybody know what the Iditarod is?
It's a race.
It's a race, yes. And the race is approximately 1,160 miles. Okay? And the racers start in Anchorage and they go to Nome. And it takes them about 9 to 11 days for them to complete the race. So that's really long. That's a really long race, and it's very cold. And the Iditarod is actually a commemorative race of the 1925 diphtheria epidemic, which is a sickness that attacks children. They had to race to Anchorage to get the medicine to save the children. The first race was held in 1973, and the Iditarod race now is run in March, and it draws about 50 drivers and teams, with the winner taking the 9 to 11 days. And if we think about, does anybody know how big Alaska is?
It's about 2 times the size of Texas.
That's right, 2.5 times the size of Texas. So it's very, very big. And if you think of Texas, if we want to go anywhere out of Austin, it's 7 hours in any direction that we go to get out. So who's ever been out of Austin and went to a different state? Did it just take forever?
Yep.
Yeah. So just think about if you were racing across Texas and it was cold and snowing and it took 9 to 11 days. It'd be a long race, wouldn't it? Okay, so we want to look at our temperature. Here's our 10-day forecast in Alaska. On Friday, it's sunny, but it's 22 degrees. And on Saturday, it's partly cloudy, and it's 20 degrees. And on Sunday, it's snowing, and it's 27 degrees. And on Monday, it's snowing, but it's 32 degrees. So it's pretty cold there. All right. So I want to talk about, I've got the setting and the characters, the problem, the action, the resolution, and the theme. Does anybody know what the setting is?
Alaska.
So Alaska, but what is the setting? The setting is
Outside.
Is where the story happens. And characters are who was in the story. The problem is, did the people have a problem, or what was the big conflict? The action is what happens to the characters. And the resolution is how did the people solve the problem. And the theme is what lesson can we learn from the story. Okay, so if we're thinking about the book we read, Anakia, who was the main character?
Akia.
Yes, Akia. Akia was the main character in the book. Okay? And where was the setting?
Outside the Alaska.
In Alaska. That's right. It was out in Alaska. And what was the big problem?
They never won first place.
They never won first place. And so what was the ending?
They won first place.
That's right. They finally got to win first place. So what do you think the theme of the book? Remember, we have the theme. What was the lesson we can learn from the story?
Perseverance.
Perseverance, that you can...
I don't know what that means.
Perseverance means that though it was very hard, they still won, right? Okay, so we've been working on our books. Here is Blake's book. And here's his book, Akia, and he has the mountains. And here is they never won first place before. Here's his musher on his sled. Here's his setting with his mountains and his snow and the wind. And here's when Akia had got his paw hurt. And here's when they won. So he did a great job. He got all his elements in his book that we were looking for. He got the setting, the characters, the problem, and the resolution. So he did a great job. Thank you very much.
Are we done?